Just why do humans want to go to Mars anyway? What is there that we could possibly want? Hi, how are you doing today? I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic medium. And today you've tuned into my video series called Way Out Wednesdays, where I tackle way out there topics. Sometimes they're more way out there than others. And today is going to be one of those days because you got to know, if you're going to ask a psychic and a medium why humans are trying to get to Mars, you got to know it's going to approach topics that have to do with conspiracy theories, aliens, Sasquatch might even make an appearance. I don't know what's going to happen during this video because I am just a very small part of the communication that's happening right now. I channel these things, 60% spirit guides, 40% Susan, depending on the topic. And today is one of those topics where they didn't pre-download it. So even when they pre-download it, I'm still getting the information while I'm talking, but at least it's there. And it's sort of like a teleprompter that's pictures, words, thoughts all together. And I have to decipher that and interpret it for you and spit it out in human language words. Today, I don't feel like it's pre-downloaded. So this may be one of those times where I've done a few like this and you can really see the difference where I had to bump them up to 80% and Susan 20% or even 85% because I just, I can't tell you what they're going to tell me if they're going to wait till the last minute to tell me. So let's do this, right? Okay, let's talk about Mars. The first thing, we've already established that if we're going to talk about Mars, we really got to talk about extraterrestrials. We've really got to talk about other beings, space beings. What intergalactic species is actually the words that they want me to use. And I keep saying that and I keep forgetting to use it. It's not really in humans vernacular at this time to call them intergalactic space beings or intergalactic species. It's just not in our lexicon as humans at this time, right? So I'm going to try to do that. They'll remind me, I'm sure. So, but we're going to back up and we're going to start with humans because it's humans that want to get to Mars. They've been to Mars. 2 stars, don't recommend. And the other thing I would say is what's funny to me, because according to my Akashic records, I only have a handful of lives on this planet, a handful of lives in the Milky Way. So for me, Earth is the prize. Earth is amazing. I mean, it's amazing, even as bad as humans have tried to ruin it, destroy it, whatever you want to say about the environment. Yes, humans have done a poor job of taking care of their planet. That's them. And yes, that is true. But the Earth is immensely able to regenerate. It's going to regenerate and regenerate. And they would remind you, it wasn't that long ago, maybe for them, but for us, it was a long time ago, that, dinosaurs roamed the Earth, or that the Earth experienced an ice age. These things happened in the history of the Earth. So as you can see, the Earth is going to survive. They're telling me the only thing the Earth is not going to survive is a direct hit by a big asteroid. So let's not think about that. Let's not even ask them about that. Let's just stay on Mars for a minute. So from my perspective, why does mankind want to go to Mars? I'm telling you right now, been there, 2 stars. Why don't you guys, and here I am speaking like I'm not one of you, but why don't you guys want to stay here on this planet? It's absolutely beautiful. The flora, the fauna, the environments, and the free reign, Wild West free will choices where you can experience anything you want, literally from any extreme that you want. Any human can experience that. And we see it, I know some of you guys might be thinking, well, I could be a drug addict, but I might not ever be a millionaire, right? So that's not exactly true, you guys. There's many people every day that become million and billionaires due to some kind of weird thing that they've done. They hit the jackpot, they win the lottery, or, they become a content creator, they own their own business and they come up with a fantastic invention. This has been happening, right, for many, 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 many hundreds of years. Okay. So they would say, yes, these things are all available to you. The extremes are all available to you. So this makes this planet very attractive for other intergalactic space beings. I've told you guys, I often see this long line of souls trying to get to this planet. This is considered the place to be, even though I, Susan, often call it bad Disneyland, but it is, from their perspective, it is the place to be. So why do humans want to go to Mars? And this is actually coming from one of my viewers who wrote a question to me. And your question was in the political questions, but I snagged it for a wow question. And Susan G says, I read a long while back that a civilization once lived on Mars, but they destroyed it, much like what happened in Lemuria and Atlantis, but worse. So the need and desire for us humans to go to Mars baffles me. Is there anything there we would want? Is it habitable? Why not take care of the planet we live on rather than take all this time, money, and energy to go to Mars? She says, what gives? What gives indeed, Susan, from one Susan to another? What gives is, this is where we're going to get into sort of, maybe some conspiracy theories. And honestly, we're all on different parts of trajectory, whether or not there are aliens, whether or not there are bases in the United States. What are they doing here? Some people don't believe we ever got to the moon. There's lots of things to consider here. So let's just take a moment and suspend our need to justify. And let's just try some things on for size and see how they fit intuitively. If they don't fit intuitively, that's no problem. Let go of it. Maybe it's just entertainment. Put it in the entertainment bucket. If it dings you, if it resonates with you intuitively, maybe there's something there for you to learn more about it, to even ask your own spirit guides or meditate on. If you feel like I'm crazy and I'm making all this up, then, you probably already cut the video off by now. So let's get started. Now, when I go into the energy and I ask my spirit guides, why do humans want to go to Mars, specifically Mars, right? I'm sure scientists have some reasons. Like if you looked it up, if you Googled it, scientists would say, we want to go to Mars because of X, Y, Z. They would have some scientific reason that Mars is the place they want to go to. I'm telling you, those scientists really believe that bull hockey. They really believe that bull hockey. They're showing me Hynek, the guy Hynek, that was a scientist who was hired to debunk the aliens and ended up proving that they were there. So scientists, God bless them. And I love science and I love scientists. One of my very dear friends is a scientist. So I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm not saying that, I'm saying that they're understanding as much as they can understand, given the framework with which they're working in. So the guide's going to say, if you live in a box and you've only ever lived in that box, that's your framework. You can't even imagine what is outside of the walls of the box. And science has been put in a box. And it's the same thing with our medical community. They're saying we've been put in a box, but the truth of the matter is that humans can teleport. We don't need to do all the things that we think we need to do to get to Mars. So for instance, they're just showing me, what if you got, I don't know why they're using this analogy, but this is what they're telling me. Do you guys remember big wheels? Do you remember that when toddlers would get on a big wheel? It has two wheels in the back and one big wheel in the front and no pedals. Maybe it does have pedals. Humans are using a big wheel mode of transportation to get to Mars or to even get to the moon. And we don't need to do that. There are black holes. There are ways that we can teleport. Okay, so there are ways we could actually teleport and get there. The speed of light, the speed of sound, something like that. And humans can withstand some of that pressure. The problem, I guess, they're telling me is the pressure. It's sort of like there would be also the same as going like to the bottom of the ocean. To the bottom of the ocean. Humans cannot withstand that pressure. And so far, we haven't come up with very many vehicles that can withstand that pressure. As a matter of fact, some people just passed away in a submersible vehicle that went down to visit the Titanic because the way they constructed the vehicle, it didn't withstand the pressure. So this is a problem. This is our problem. It's not that we need to take our big wheel and drive it the long way to Mars. It's that we could think outside of the box. How interesting that he used box, and now they're saying think outside of the box. That's nice. think outside of the box and imagine. If we allowed our scientists to imagine what's outside of the box, if we allowed humans to imagine, what if I could use telepathy? What if I practiced sending my thoughts to my partner, my spouse? What if we practiced that? What if we spent a tenth of the time practicing that we do practicing games on phone, right? What could happen? Well, we would be very powerful. That's what would happen. And that's why it's not something that the powers that be, then we get into conspiracy theories, the powers that be want us to do. They don't want us to be powerful. They want us to be linked to a phone. They want us to be trackable. This thing is a tracking device. And I'm not trying to be all conspiratorial. I'm just telling you what it is. Heck, if I say I would like to buy something and it reminds me to buy it, that's helpful, right? I'm not saying I'm against all of that, but I am saying that humans are ascending, we are growing, we are expanding. And I believe that humans are going to expand past this box. We're going to expand past it. They're not going to be able to keep us in the box or keep science or keep medicine in the box. So now, why do we want to go to Mars? Well, when I go into that energy, okay, I need to talk about, because they're showing me pictures of, there are some intergalactic space species. I have talked about this before that have bases, mines in the earth, under the ocean, under the ice caps, everywhere, in mountains, everywhere. Ships go into those mines and take out this very rare mineral that the earth has in abundance, they're telling me. And this very rare mineral is like a power source for them. It's a vehicle power source for them. So just like crystals can power a watch, crystals can power a craft. Now the power is the crystal, the intention, the steering is the human, or well, I did it, so I call it the human, is the entity, the species, the soul guiding the craft through their intention. Okay. Now, so we've established some things. We've established that these intergalactic species are coming to our planet. They're getting these minerals that they need, and then they're leaving. Now, why wouldn't humans discover that? Why would humans want to go to Mars to get those minerals? Because this is where I'm going with this, apparently. Because those minerals under our own sea, in our own mountains, under our own polar ice caps, would allow us complete freedom. We wouldn't need oil. We wouldn't need coal. We wouldn't need anything like that. We would have complete freedom. It would upset the system of our capitalism. And that would upset, people that make a lot of money. And those people know about these bases. So what happens is, what they're telling me is, Mars is a red herring. Mars is a red herring. If they can put it into the scientists' minds in their box, which is like physics, like they're talking about physics again, the physics of the box, there's certain physics equations that are just missing. Like we know this and we know this, but we don't know this. It's outside of the box. This is allowing scientists to feel like they're growing, they're stretching, they're improving, they're learning. It's exciting. It's exciting to give us something to shoot for. Like we shot for the moon and we did it. And it's also very much ingrained, the guides are saying, in human evolution, but also sort of tribalism, because there's a space race. There's a space race. We have India going to the moon. We have Russia trying to go to the moon. There's a space race. Who's going to get to Mars first? This is also about dominance, about superpower countries dominating and bringing home the trophy to their people. So this is a red herring, folks. We're going to Mars for no reason. It's like when you make up a reason to go to the grocery store because you just need to get out of the house. Basically, that's it. I'm going to the grocery store. We don't need anything. Oh, yeah, we're out of something. I don't remember what it is, but I've got it in my phone. I'll be back in an hour, because you just need peace and quiet, right? Well, in this case, they're sending us to Mars as a red herring. Now, also realizing that we're not really going to get there. I mean, we might get a rover there, right? We might send something there. We're going to send telescopes. We're going to send equipment there. And that's all fine and good. There's nothing wrong with that. The guides are saying there's nothing wrong with that. In this way, we are exploring our territory. If you think about, I don't know if this is a good analogy, but if you think about the early explorers on planet Earth, I don't think it went very well, but they're saying it's sort of like that. We're exploring the planet. We're exploring the universe now. We're exploring our galaxy. So, but that's why. That's what they tell me, is it's a red herring. So now you might be asking, like, well, let me see what you're asking, because sometimes I can tune into the questions before we get there. Why don't we discover this for our own? What can we do to discover this? Will we ever discover this? I think that's the question, is, will we ever discover that this rare mineral is something that we can use? And will we ever discover how to use it? And will we ever use it? And the other question might be, once we discover this rare mineral and we discover how to, two different things. We discover the mineral, we discover how to use it. That's a big technological leap right there. A big technological leap right there. And will we ever do it? And you know what they're showing me right now is we have, I wonder why this is only the United States. It's not, it's Italy and something. During Franco, wasn't there a Mussolini and Franco? Are those the same people? When I'm channeling, I don't know. But that country also has or had some alien craft that they tried to re-engineer. They tried to reverse engineer it to figure out how it worked. And so the thing that's very interesting is, and if I disappear suddenly, you know what happened to me, because I'm talking about things that I probably shouldn't be talking about. But the interesting thing is that there are people that know. There are for sure people that know about this mineral, and there are for sure people that have a pact, have an agreement with some of these intergalactic space beings to allow them to come into those mountains, to come into the ocean. It's what they're showing me is how many decades, basically since the 50s. If you've watched me, you know that I've often told you guys that the intergalactic species are not going to let us blow ourselves up with nuclear bombs. Yes, we blew up one nuclear bomb, and that's when they decided they had to babysit us. Now they babysit us. They're not going to let us blow up a nuclear bomb to the degree of Hiroshima or something like that. They're not going to let us, not because they care about us, not because they're trying to save us, but because they care about everything else. And blowing up a bomb like this sends off a shockwave, vibrational shockwave, which affects all the other existences in a bad way. And they're not going to let some human fools on this planet called Earth jack up the neighborhood. Okay? So that is why. So why did the 1950s? Okay, the 1950s is when we had this proliferation of alien sightings. We had this proliferation of alien crashes. We had Hynek. We had Project Blue Book. Everything started happening after that nuclear bomb. Now, I'm not saying that aliens didn't come here before, because obviously indigenous people all around the planet have interacted with aliens. It's in their hieroglyphics. It's in their cave drawings. It's everywhere. I think it's even in the Bible. So I'm not saying this is the first time, but I'm saying that this is the first time we were able to get craft. This is the first time we might have been able to get some sort of alien species body. So stay with me for a second, because when they reverse engineered this craft, they saw this crystal. Now, I don't think they knew what it was, because to me, it's about as big as it's about this big, like a softball, bigger than a tennis ball. And there's all different kinds. It depends on the craft. Anyway, they saw that, and they knew it was something special because it was kind of glowing or pulsing. So they knew it was dying. The energy was dying from that crystal. It was dimming and dimming, but while it was still pulsing, they knew there was an energetic frequency to this. And this is locked up in the top, extra top secret. I mean, nobody has this information. I don't think presidents get this information. I feel, and maybe this is a conspiracy theory, call me crazy, that's fine, probably keeps me a lot safer. I believe that there are people that know about this. There are people of a higher, unfortunately, our planet runs off of money and power. We do have a lot of free will here, a ton of free will. But when it goes all the way to the end, we live in a box. We still live in this box. And that means that somebody is putting us in the box. So we can't see beyond we're supposed to see. Sort of like Alice in Wonderland and, the yellow brick road all mixed together. Why am I telling you this? Because these people, and they really are humans, although there are some hybrids, there are some hybrid alien human people involved in this, because those people are minders or representatives of the intergalactic species, because they don't trust the humans. Okay. So then we have this hybrid, alien human mix, which looks like a human. They look just like a human. They're there to make sure that everything, is on the up and up, that they get what they get. Now, do I think they're buying it? I think there is some sort of trade. There's some sort of trade, money, not money, but there's some sort of payment. I don't know what it is. It's a lot of things. It's things money can't buy. Oh my God, that makes so much sense. Doesn't that make sense, you guys? That somebody that has all the money in the world, and I mean the whole world, what is it that they can't buy? Longevity. They can't live forever, but they can. This is what they're trading it for. And I'm not saying they're going to live forever, but I'm saying that they're at 150 to 60 years old. And I'm not talking about bent over, wizened. I'm talking about you're 70. You look like you're 70, but you're 150. That's what they're getting. You can't buy that. That's something that these intergalactic species can help them with. So, wow, this was all stuff that I didn't know. They didn't pre-download this. I didn't really know where this was going. I'm channeling, so I don't really know what I just said. But you have this is the reason why they're sending us on this red herring to get us off of the planet. They don't want us to know about what's happening on our planet, because the end result is there's a lot more humans than there are these few people that are creating this fake, identity for us. And I don't know why. I don't know why, but I'm a person that I've never watched The Matrix. I've never watched Star Wars. I'm not kidding you guys. And they often tell me this is The Matrix, and I don't even know what they're talking about. But this is what they're saying now. This is sort of like a Matrix situation. So your next question might be, well, is this going to change? Are we ever going to figure this out? And I would say yes. Now, there are two, and two is not the right word. Humans are so up, down, right, left. You know what I mean? We're very this or that. When I needed to say something on a scale, so I said two. But the reality is that it's a multitude of different types of intergalactic species, a multitude. To reduce them to two would be disrespectful and a disservice, they're saying, to the myriad, vast kaleidoscope of intergalactic beings. Okay, clearly I stepped on an alien toe, whatever that looks like. So sorry. So there are energies that are very supportive of humans, that want us to have our free will, that respect. The word they want to say, respect. They respect our free will. They're not going to, and free, what does that mean? It means that if you want to burn the rainforest down, then that's your free will. Okay. So you guys, we all get tripped up. Well, if they love us, why don't they stop this stuff? Because they respect our free will. And here's the kicker, you guys. Humans are so powerful. We're so powerful that if we didn't believe we were in a box, living our little box lives, going to work, coming home, doing our little things, we would already be busting off this planet. I mean, we would already be having free, we would already be having free energy, but we'd already having the ability to heal ourselves and heal others. It would be a completely free, open planet where there was no hierarchy, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And you see how my human mind tried to create a hierarchy just a minute ago by saying there are two, good and bad, this or that, up and down. And they disabused me of that right away, right? Because that is a very human construct, because that's the kind of human life we lead. There's laws, you break them or you abide by them. There's gravity, you throw something up, it comes down. This makes sense for us, but we're about to have a whole script flip. Now, it doesn't mean, and I've done videos about this where I've talked about the shift. I've talked about ascension. I've done lots of videos on this. Go to the main playlist, click on the logo. That'll take you to my main YouTube page. Then go to community, not community. Then go to playlist. Go to playlist, go down to WOW videos. It's all there. The thing that you need to know probably before I end this video is that as we go into 2024 and 2025 and all the way through 2028, and there's energy around 2028. And if you're a certain age, you know how fast years go. So this is not a long time. Humans are going to expand beyond the box. It's just our natural evolution. It's also because there's a couple of things happening, right? The veil between the worlds. Again, if I had to use a judgmental or a this, that, up, down description, I would say there's a curtain between us that separates me and my loved ones that have crossed over. This separates me and my spirit guides. This separates me and the aliens or the intergalactic species. That's how humans understand it. That veil, whatever you want to call it, whether you want to say our pineal gland is opening, and it's an internal process, and it's not an external process. It's an internal process. However, you need to understand that it's happening. It is happening. People are waking up to their psychic abilities, popping like popcorn all over the place. If you're watching this, I promise you, you've had experiences in the last year that are new and different. Maybe you don't know what to call them yet. Maybe you don't think they're psychic. Maybe you don't think they're intuitive, but they are. They are. You can tell yourself you're not psychic all day long. And that's how you end up getting into trouble, because you ignore all the sounds coming out of the closet until something comes out of the closet. So, it's about boundaries. It's about dealing with these things. I have lots of videos on that too. So we are going to expand. Our knowledge is going to expand. Our soul is going to expand, because it is so, because this is the human evolution. And these yahoos that think they put a box around humanity, around this planet, are in for a rude awakening. And sometimes I think that's why some of these rich people want to make spaceships so that they can leave. Because once we all wake up, we're not going to need them anymore. We're going to be able to heal ourselves. We're going to be able to have our own energy. I do want to say this, though, because this is an important thing for me to say. The makeup, caliber is the wrong word. The makeup of our planet is such that it has the polarity. It has the free will. It has the polarity. What does that mean, you guys? There's going to be good times. There's going to be bad times. There's going to be ice age, and there's going to be beautiful, everything is good. It's a polarity. It's a balancing act. It's never going to be utopia. This planet is never going to be utopia. So even though we discover free energy and we're able to heal ourselves, there's always going to be things that our soul is going to be able to learn here, because that's why we come here. We come here to learn. We come here to experience. So even though we're going to make these amazing, just utopia-like strides in our evolution, there's still going to be a fly in the ointment. There's still going to be a fly in your wine glass. There just is, because this is not utopia. This is a learning planet. This is a planet where we want to experience things. So maybe we get free energy. Because of the free energy, we're not traveling as much. Maybe we have free energy if we stay in our bubble city. Maybe we're living in a bubble city, and in that bubble city, which doesn't look like a bubble. It doesn't feel like a bubble. I've seen it. I've done videos on it. It feels like a city, but it is a bubble because it is completely contained. The air is clean. The water's clean. The energy is free. The healing is free. There's relative peace. Comes with a price. Do you see what I'm saying? All those things come with a price. The price is that you're not getting on a plane and flying to Paris unless you step out of that bubble, in which case you'll have to contend with some real big environmental changes. Okay, so yes, we're getting all this, but there will be some changes to contend with that might not make it utopia. So does that explain why they want us to go to Mars? I mean, it does to me. It makes, I didn't know, like 30 or 45 minutes ago, I didn't know why humans wanted to go to Mars. Like I said, 2 stars. I don't recommend it. The planetary, book of ratings, I was like, 2 stars. I would go to this other planet instead. But that's also personal preference for me because I'm a water girl. I'm a water baby. So Mars is like kind of gassy, kind of red. I don't know. It's not my vibe. Not my vibe. Earth is amazing. So listen, let me know what you think. Thanks for staying to the end and watching this Way Out Wednesday video. I do have a series of them. I will put the playlist up here so that you can click on that and just check out some of the other videos. There's some really pretty interesting topics. I am channeling. This is not my opinion. I don't even know what I just said. Is it 100% correct? Maybe not, because I am interpreting what I'm seeing. I'm also interpreting this through my human filter. My human filter at whatever stage of development or evolution I am at this time. That's my limiting. That's my limiter. Does that make sense to you? If I came back to this topic 2 years from now, I might evolve this and I might be able to say these things in a new way with this new evolutionary energy. But where I'm at right now, this is what I get. I would love to hear what you think. I always love to read your comments. Thank you so much. If you like this topic, if you like this content, please subscribe. Help me out with that. It's free. And I want to, hang out with you and see what you think about all these really weird, but kind of amazing topics that we discuss every Wednesday. Take really, really good care of yourselves. We'll see you soon.